Yo, so a quick video regarding Soul Exchange. These ones are actually interesting because there's a lot of heroes that I don't really know about. There are a few that, uh, you know, I kind of like, a bunch that I don't, and there's some colors I won't be going for sure, no matter how good they are. Like purples, I don't need purple, so I'm not gonna go for it. But yellow, blue, and green are my weakest. Red, I don't really need it. There's a really good healer in my opinion on this one. So let's go for a really quick little chat. So this motherfucker had fast. Some of the dagger fiend that target enemies and target enemy and holy enemies. So, if you go as a team that's got like 3 yellows, you hit the green or whatever the hell color, it'll also select the yellows as well. So it's kind of cool, but I don't know. I'm a little bit iffy with it because it's a single technical attack. Anyway, so absorbs healing and disappears 20% of max health, which is kind of low. And when it disappears, 8-10 bleed damage for 3 turns. So it's kind of low. What I do like is that super elemental family. So it changes the colors and all that shit on the board. So that's kind of cool. And just so you know, that's kind of what it does. So, it deals damage when you use the tiles that they change, right? So it's that. Becky, multiple, it's a mage, I believe. So 350 to a single target. Each time the target activates their special skills during 3 turns, mana of all other enemies is reduced by 15%. I mean, it's all right. It's great to use, but I don't know. I'm not a big fan of that anyway. And then second one is increases the mana of all allies, which is kind of cool, but 10% is kind of low. For the next 5 turns, this character deals 250 damage to all enemies each time any other caster special skill. So it's all right. Not a big fan, but it's not so bad. Passive. Whenever Gary casts their special skills, they have 50% chance to recover 15% health for all allies. So that's kind of cool. And the other one is stack on special. When they cast their special skills, all enemies get -5 mana. Again, as passive, these are kind of cool. I know they're low numbers, but it works great for passives in my opinion. Yellows is one that I'd be looking at myself. I kind of need some yellows. I don't have the most solid yellow team. I can make one good team and that's about it. So anyway, let's go here. So 500 to the target. It's all right. It's kind of low for a single target, but the game's gone wacko, so that's why I say 500 is low, even though it's a pretty big number. And then for 3 turns, each time an enemy's mana is increased by special skill, stat, effect, level, property, passive skill, family effect, or minion, they receive 250 damage. That's really shitty low damage. So 640 on the second mana charge. All enemies are immune to new status for 3 turns, and anytime they get an attempt, it's -34 mana, which is pretty alright. And then it's going from 640 to 680. So 500 to 640 is a big jump, but 640 to 680 on 3 mana, it's just not cool. And then same thing, they're immune and -34 whenever there is an attempt. And then there's another one, which is for 3 turns, each time an enemy's mana is increased by specials. Oh, it's the same shit. Anyway, so this is alright. I'm not a big fan of her. Let's see this one. So 230 damage to all. Pretty fucking low. And then 45 chance to dodge special skills for 3 turns. Each dodge the attacker for 100 damage. Pretty low. Low numbers. Not a big fan. And then this one. 330 to all enemies, mediocre. Um, all allies get 10% mana for each time an enemy uses their special skills during 4 turns. So that's kind of cool at average speed. Just keep that in mind. And the caster gets Vengeance for 4 turns. If Vengeance is dispelled by special skills, all enemies receive damage. So it's alright. Nothing special. It's a Journey family, so you can see that, what their family special is. Whoopity doo da day. I'm not a fan of Zenobia. It's one of these heroes that attacks the edges. Only thing is good that if there are, two or even one hero, he does obviously exact damage, right? So if there's two heroes, he'll hit those two heroes for sure. Otherwise, it's always hitting the edges. That's, what this hero does. And if there's one, both the damages go to a single hero. So it's pretty big damage to one hero. At average speed, not a big fan. And again, this is an Underwild family, so it's quite old. I don't like that hero. Now, if you need a red hero, this guy's pretty damn good. For average, 45% for all. And then allies bypass defensive buffs and get critical attack. Like, this guy is a solid healer for an offensive team. I mean, you could do it as defense as well too, but very good hero. Passive damage over time on special, so it gives people damage. Now it's water damage, keep that in mind, because some people do resist water damage. And passive resist water damage, obviously some little bastard who likes to water himself. So if I didn't have Phoenixia, I would be definitely considering this one. But I have Phoenixia, which is attack up and crit, plus around 42 or so heal. I can't remember that exactly. And this bad boy used to be really, really useful when it first came out. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I don't need reds, so I definitely won't be going for reds. But he's not bad if you need reds that do some damage, because 220 on the first mana charge, which is pretty quick, and then immunity for enemies, so they can't do any buffs. And then he goes Dispel first, which is very important, and then 320 to also from 220 to 320. And then they're immune again to buffs. And then he goes to same thing, so Dispel first, which is quite important. Remove all the buffs that they would have. 385 to all, which is pretty decent when it's hit all, and immune again. So this guy's pretty good. If you need red damage that does decent amount, this guy's good. Okay. Now blues. These ones I actually don't know anything about any of them. So summons an enchanted sigil minion for each ally with 15% HP and 20 attack. It's kind of low. When summoned, the enchanted sigil minion for 20% mana generation for its owner, as long as its owner has enchanted sigil minion. So it's kind of all right. I mean, 20% is good. That's double Dr. Zoidberg, as I call him, Xenofoldo, whatever the hell, the purple healer that adds mana, because that guy is 10%. And then, so as you can see, first one is a minion. Second mana charge summons a cursed sigil fiend for all enemies. So that's kind of cool. And 100% attack every turn. It's all right. The cursed sigil fiend absorbs healing to 60%. It's pretty damn good. So that's pretty damn good. And then when it leaves, obviously 38% negative mana regeneration. So second charge is pretty good. Kind of like the second charge. Okay. I can't even remember ever seeing this guy, but apparently we saw him at some point because it's in the game. So 20% on first charge, it's a pretty low heal, plus 24 mana regen, so that's kind of cool. Second is 30, and then 10% mana, so it gets more heal, less regeneration for mana. Third one is 50%, which is pretty damn good, although third mana charge will take a while to charge up. and then by 20% for mana, and also 40% mana generation. So it's pretty damn good on third charge, but you gotta make it to the third charge, because these days you get killed pretty quickly when they kill everybody. And you look at the numbers, 1087 defense and 2213 health. It's pretty low. You get killed very easily these days with these numbers. Now this is one of my options because I do like Cell. I've known him and I've always wanted this bastard, so it's good that it's here, even though it's a slow hero. So summons a rock minion for each ally with 40% HP and 50 attack. That's pretty decent numbers. Then gives its owner Golem Stone Skin. Okay, so that thing is really pain in the ass. Okay, they get Stone Skin for 3 turns, and it can't be dispelled, which is fucking great. And of course, Stone Skin, what it does is drops damage to 1. So I really like Cell. Problem again is numbers are a little low, but it's also slow hero, right? That's one thing I don't really like, but it's one of my options because he's definitely fucked up some of my teams in the past when it goes off and they get Stone Skin minions and I can't do shit about it. So it's kind of cool in that sense. Very useful in my opinion in Rush. Okay, so that's blues and greens, which I think is the weakest of all. So this one is, let's see, minions, 30% HP, it's alright, and boosted health 100 to its owner at the end of each turn. Okay, and allies and special skills, additional 20% damage, and 10% special skill damage for 4 turns. I don't like this chick at all, but if you need someone who does some minion damage and shit on average, you can go for it. I don't like it at all, so that's me. Archie, there was a time that I really liked Archie. So 250 to all is pretty low, even though it's at 1587 attack. Keep in mind that's level 25, right? So you don't know which direction. If I had to guess, they've gone the attack way. That's why it's so high. Okay, and then all enemies are immune for 4 turns and 150 damage each attempt. So that's kind of cool. And remember, fast. So that's kind of useful. And the caster gets minus 10 accuracy. That just seems to be the Springvale family motto. Always drop your own mana. So that's kind of something I didn't like. Okay, and lastly, now I've kind of liked this trick only because, again, it's another one of these super elemental families. My green team is mediocre at best. 450 damage to a single and all ice, so it's another one of those, it hits multiples if they have multiple blues. So my mindset is aim for, you're looking to do a single damage, and if you hit anybody other than blue, you'll hit also blue. If you have no blues on their team, you're only doing single damage, and then automatically does 651 damage to target and all blue enemies. So obviously if they have no blues, you're only hitting the target, and when their mana gets full, so it's kind of like mindless attack. That's kind of what it feels like. It reduces their mana to 50%, so it's kind of cool. Okay, but the important part is when their mana is full. Okay, so I think it's really good in Rush, right? Because they're gonna fill up very quickly, and they keep getting damaged, and their mana drops to 50%. But if it's not Rush in 4 turns, I don't think it's like the greatest. And then obviously alters the board, which gives mana boost. So that's kind of cool. All right, 37 mana for attack and minus 30 for defense. So I think in that sense, it's pretty cool. And their passive, if you can see, does extra 100% damage and receives 10% less damage. So I kind of like this chick. I kind of like Cell. And if I had to, I think it was this one. I think it was this one. I have to. Yeah, I think it was this one. But like, I have a few things I'm looking at, but I've not made up my mind. I'm gonna go for something. It definitely won't be a red or purple, but yeah, I'm thinking yellow, blue, or green, and we'll see which one it is. Anyway, my 2 cents. Take care.